Hello everyone, VJose32 back again. I wanted to talk about a few things. Let's talk about Cardlauncher.com first. Cardlauncher, of course, if you're not familiar with it, is a new crowdfunding website specifically for playing cards, run by Mike Ratlets, who also runs United Cardists, and there's a few other people involved as well. And it's run by collectors, for collectors, I guess, which is always possibly a good thing. They have a few decks on there that I'll tell you about. The first one is The Good Deck by Giovanni. And this started off with the Evil Deck, which was created by Giovanni for a contest. I think it was on playingcardforum.com. I don't recall exactly. But there was a whole bunch of decks involved. There was one that was really nice, the Symphony by my Facebook buddy Zagan, or Zagan, however you pronounce his name. And that one came in second place. I really felt it could have won, but it didn't. The Good Deck won, or Evil Deck won, and as a result, the Expert Point Cloud Company gave him 2 gross, which I think is 144 in a gross, so that'd be 288 decks, as a prize. And now he's decided to do this new deck, the Good Deck, a sequel deck, a companion deck. You can't have the good without the evil, so you got to get both. And you can get both on this project. And the Good Deck will not be as limited as the other one. The other one's very limited. But the Good Deck won't be as limited, obviously. I don't know how many has been printed, but more than what the other one was, obviously. The decks are very colorful and fun and cartoony and unique. And so you might want to check them out. Another project is a Canadiana by one of my friends, Phil DaCosta, who is known as PDC Magic here on YouTube. And he's also had a trick through Illusionist some time ago, which is a pretty good trick. The Canadiana is a Canadian themed deck of cards, lots of red and white and maple leafs. He's got the standard deck, which I have a version of. I have a prototype, and I've reviewed it. It's on my channel. The code cards are going to be a little bit different because originally he was trying to get Canadian magicians and all the code cards, but he's decided not to do that this time around. So it's a little bit more standard looking, but still pretty cool. But the back design is the same, so you can check out my review to get an idea of what they're going to look like. And then he has 2 limited editions. One is a patterned back, which has maple leaves all across the back, similar to a B deck with no borders or anything like that. At least I don't think there's borders. And then the other limited edition is a solid back, which I guess is just a red back with a couple of white maple leaves. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen it yet, to be honest. But that one is funded. 111% funded, 23 days remain. The Good Deck, 42% funded, 23 days remain. Then there is the Brimstone. There is the Bicycle Brimstone playing cards by Gambler's Warehouse. Gambler's Warehouse is famous for doing recolors and reprints. And that's exactly what they're doing with this one. It is the Bicycle Brimstone, originally put out by Circle City Cards a couple of years back, I guess it was. Now, Gambler's Warehouse is doing a new aqua-colored version. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that. The color scheme for the type of deck it is, but it's fine. They're also reprinting the red ones. Both of them are going to have nice foil boxes. Should be pretty good, especially if you missed out originally. Right now, it's 35% funded, 23 days left. I'm not sure why they're being listed as Toronto, Ontario. They're not in Ontario, they're not in Canada, so it's a little bit weird. And then there is the Venexiana Dark by Half Moon Playing Cards. It's the latest Venexiana deck, the last Venexiana deck. Currently, he's selling a limited edition version, despite the fact that there's also a unlimited edition, which is not even available yet, which is pretty bizarre and a little bit backwards as far as the project is concerned. Usually, They'll do the unlimited version, and then they'll do the limited one as an add-on. So far, this one is 43% funded, 23 days left. You can believe that if it was on Kickstarter, it'd be funded by now, but it's not. And this could be an issue for Cardlauncher. The other one, the Brimstone, 35% funded, 23 days left. It's the least funded out of all of them. Canadiana is the only one that is actually funded, which is not boding well for Cardlauncher because they just don't have the eyeballs that Kickstarter has. There's not that many people on it, not that many people know about this website or checking it out, so they're having difficulty funding. It doesn't help that when they launched, first there was a 2-week delay in the launch from the original launch date, and then they had all sorts of issues, and they had to set it down for a few days, and then they had to relaunch, and just a whole bunch of mess. But that's all been fixed. It's all good now. Check it out, Cardlauncher.com. And quickly, I mentioned Deckstarter.com, which is Dan and Dave's version of Kickstarter. They have a new deck called the Alice in Wonderland playing cards. 2 versions. There is a cardistry version, as they call it, and the other one they're calling a Player's Edition. And there's early birds available right now still. These are designed by a studio called Turnstile. You'd think that these studios would be better at creating art. All I'm seeing on Deckstarter so far is a lot of minimalist decks lacking in art. And these are art studios. What the hell are they doing? And they call this Alice in Wonderland deck. They say it's inspired by that. But there's no art on it. I don't see how it's inspired by Alice in Wonderland. There's just nothing that fits with Alice in Wonderland. Anyways, only this. They say the most dangerous card in this deck is the Queen of Hearts. I'm not sure why. The one deck, I think it's the player's deck, is a black and gold back design. Spades in this one are black faced with white pips. The clubs are white faced with black pips. Diamonds have gold faces with white pips. And the hearts have white faces with gold pips. Hearts and diamonds each feature a black pip on each number card. And spades and clubs each feature a gold pip on each number card. So it's pretty interesting. As I mentioned, the court cards are all very minimalist. They're just letters. A J, Q, and a king, and a K. The other deck is the Cardistry Edition. It's actually, my apologies. The Cardistry Edition is the one I just mentioned, the black one. The other one is Player's Edition, is a gold and white back design, and it has white faces with either gold pips on the hearts and diamonds, black pips on spades and clubs, and there's a black pip on each one of the hearts and diamonds, and a gold pip on each one of the spades and clubs, and the same court cards. So it's pretty interesting. I'm not sure why they would make a cardistry deck that's got like 4 different colors in it, but whatever. The back design is kind of simple, clean. It's just a black and gold or white and gold design. Not a lot going into it. I don't like those corners. They got, in 2 of the corners, there's an angle like this. It just seems really off. But whatever. That's that. So far, they're at $4,200 out of $14,000 with 31 days left. They are now using Crowd Tilt, which is a lot better than Blogspot or whatever the hell it was we were using before, which was horrible. And that's that. And that's what I got. I'll see you with a Kickstarter update right away as well. See you next time.